Dear Addison, this is just like 2:30 in the afternoon trying to get back to work. There's a line to get in the elevator. Happy July 25th, Wednesday. Yesterday I mentioned this book I'm reading, Rebel Talent by Francesca Gino. It's a killer book, maybe halfway, and it just keeps giving. This book's fantastic. Another study she brings up in the book in which experiment with kids, 8 and 9-year-olds. They taught these kids like a chemistry experiment. They gave them some raisins and showed them what would happen if you put raisins in a mixture of like, I don't know, salt and vinegar, I think. But one group of these kids, after the experiment, the teacher did her own experiment, kind of outside the normal experiment. She said, I wonder what would happen if we put Skittles in the same solution. So she's kind of stepping out of the norm, kind of doing her own thing, and she did the experiment. With another group of the kids, another half the group of kids, the teacher didn't do this. After the original raisin experiment, she just tidied up the room and did some cleaning. After all of this was done, they gave both of these groups of kids the same instructions, which were simply, you're free to continue to use these materials or color or move around the room, do whatever you want. I'm gonna leave for a while and come back. And you know what happened? It's obvious, right? I mean, the group of kids that saw their teacher exploring and showing curiosity about what would happen outside the norm of what they were supposed to be doing, they were more curious too. They started doing more things around the room, playing with the materials more. Kids who just saw their teacher clean after doing kind of the expected, they did less. A bunch of them just sat on their hands. I think this has important implications for a lot of reasons. If you're a student, I think you need to look at this and recognize the bias that is to just do the norm, to just do what everybody else is doing. And recognize that teachers have this same bias. Even though they tell you they want you to explore the world, they have a bias too. Sometimes they're lazy, sometimes they're busy, sometimes they don't have the resources or the time to kind of show you. And you need to recognize that because you've got to fight against it as a student. And you've got to do what it takes to go out there and ask more questions and do things that are a little bit different than what all the rest of us are doing. And if you're a teacher, you need to recognize you need to do more than just tell your students what you want of them. You need to be the example. You need to show people how much you care about exploring the world and how curious you are. It's not good enough just to write books. It's not good enough just to get up there and lecture and tell people how you think it should be done. You've got to be out there doing it yourself. I hope I've been a curious enough student. I hope as a teacher, as a father, I show enough curiosity and wonder and I do enough to help you explore the world more. If I'm not, I hope to get better at it. And I will see you tomorrow. Love, Dad.